Good morning! Okay. I start to feel a little bit awkward looking at the camera. I haven't done it for a while, as you know. And now it's just kind of like, Lena, you're not talking to a real person, you're staring into a tablet, and you lose your natural self. You don't talk like you usually talk when you're talking to a person. So give me a few minutes to get used to talking to that little black dot that I see in my tablet. Okay. And while I'm doing that, I want you to get a little update of my life and what's been happening in the past year. As many of you know, I have been building a house. Guess what? Yay! Yay, 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 yay! This is the house. And this is the sofa that I have designed myself. I will not show you the whole sofa because I'm not awfully proud of it. And the house... phone. And the house does not really look like anything special, but it definitely feels like something special. It feels like a house that you have designed yourself, if you know what I mean. I love Fibonacci numbers and golden proportion. The reason? It's natural, it's balanced, and it just feels right for some unknown reason. Which I will not go into because I really don't know why things based on golden proportion feel and look right. So being in the house and looking at all these things, like for example this niche, which is 58 centimeters wide and 153 centimeters tall. And the builders did not love me for it, for all these precise measurements, because you know when people build a house, this is 1 meter, this is 2 meters, 1.5. You don't go into half a centimeter here and there. It just doesn't matter to most people. To me it did. And the 108-degree angles. I love the star. And the star is based on a gold proportion, so it's a pentagon. And the ceiling is has 5 angles. Look, look, look. I'm so impatient. I want to show you. Like, see? All these 108-degree angles. Yay! And the golden rectangles back there, and more. We have the sea. And the TV on the other side. And I do watch movies. And the room yet looks a little bit empty, but we'll get there. You just saw my sexy outfit. Oh my God. These sort of pants a girl should only wear at home. God forbid that any guy sees me wearing this. This is so not sexy. You just don't wear it outside. Okay, now I feel more relaxed and more natural in front of the camera, back to normal. The reason that stimulated me, the reason. What? Okay, one more thing that I forgot to mention. Thank you for the beautiful flowers and birthday gifts. I was surprised of how many people still remember my birthday and my email address and still email to me saying, "Happy birthday, Lena, have a good day, be always as bubbly and happy and and smiley as you are." Yeah, made my day. And I am being honest. It's always nice to feel that people remember you and people still think about you, although all these reminders on social networks like Facebook and blah 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 that yeah, this person's having a birthday, then you really doubt, do they really remember your birthday, or did Facebook email them and tell them that it's your friend's birthday? I still want to believe that it came from your heart, and I know it did, because if it didn't, you wouldn't do this, and you wouldn't send me all those yummy gifts, and you wouldn't have made my day, but you did. Many of you did, so thank you so much. There's a tie, thank you for you. Okay, now I can get into the theory. And the theory, the exciting theory of today, May the 26th in the morning. Spiritual entanglement. Do you like the sound of it? Okay. the word entanglement. I first met when I was listening to an online lecture on quantum physics. I think it was particle entanglement, and I know very little about it and very much not in depth, but still, the word entanglement sounded right. Spiritual entanglement. We all naturally like to believe that we have separate souls. This is my soul and this is your soul. And we're no connected souls. We could be, but anyway. I believe that we have one common soul for everybody. For my cats, for your dog, and for you and me, it's all the same soul. And you might want to argue with that, okay? Now, for our lifetime, let's say 80 years, 120 years, we have this portion of the greater soul living in us and powering our body. When it's gone, the body is just corpse and there is no life in it. So soul is what I call life. Something that powers the physical. Just like you have electricity is the same for everybody. Mine electricity is no different from yours, and it powers a light bulb, let's say for 8 hours, or for 3 minutes, or however long you need. So you are the light bulb, I am the light bulb, and we get this portion of the electricity called our soul for a certain number of years. Okay. Now, some of us go through periods of difficulties in life. And some people's difficulties are more difficult than others, and the way we react to them makes it more difficult for some. So remember the theory of the inward directed thinking, the theory of heaviness and self-destructive energy directed at yourself. When you shrink, when you become smaller, it's an airplane. When you try to push everybody and everything away from you, when you have no love in your life, when you just get away from me, and you shrink and shrink and shrink and become smaller and smaller. First you go to the size of a tennis ball, then you go to the size of a needle point, and it feels really heavy and hurts. You're shrinking with self-destructive, inward-directed energy because of your reaction to a certain trigger in your life, maybe some abandonment issue, maybe some separation, maybe some outside circumstances and illness. It can be anything. And when you get to a very, very small point when it just feels so heavy that your soul cannot handle it anymore, you cry out for help! I'm dying here. And this is when your portion of the soul tries to help you by pairing up. And this is where the entanglement happens with another soul, which you might have never met, living in another person's body, which is going through similar circumstances and similar feelings, similar emotions in that life. They click. Why did they click? To help you, to help the other person. The initial reason is good, but what happens later? From that moment of entanglement with another person's soul, two people become one, and they might have never met each other. They don't know of each other, they don't know and are not aware of what is actually happening because of their circumstances. You're so inwarded, you're so self-destructive and full of fear and heaviness, this heavy feeling, that you don't really know and not aware of what is happening. The two people start to mix into one. So one person's emotions affect the other person's emotions. And basically, both people start to feel that they're not really in control of their emotions, and they're not really in control of their lives and what is happening in their lives. So you're sitting here watching the camera, and suddenly you feel that you have an emotion of fear, some anxiety, and so on. That is actually a reflection of what your entangled soul is going through, and it affects you. Also, some desire to go somewhere to do something which does not really belong to you. You mixed, you're connected, but not in a healthy way. Being aware of what is happening and just have the solution to the problem. We won't go into the solution to the problem anymore. Just if you feel that you are not in control of your own life, if you feel that you're not in control of your own emotions, and that somebody else somehow is affecting it, then most likely it is entanglement. And it doesn't happen that often, but it does happen. There can be negative and positive effects of this entanglement. I'm talking about the negative effects today, when you lose control over your own emotions, not in a good way. It's good to be in control of your own emotions and following your own joy and feeling exactly what excites you in life, so that you can follow that path, your own path, not somebody else's path, especially somebody whom you do not know. Now, this is the end of the theory. I want some feedback on the theory, some constructive criticism perhaps. Have I missed something? Have you experienced it, or have you seen that in other people? When you, or when somebody whom you know seems to be not themselves, seems to be affected by somebody else who is not their partner or their relative or is sitting next to them, but somebody else. Like the emotions do not really belong to them, like the feelings do not really belong to them, and what is happening in their life, at least half, is not their own decisions. They're almost being filled with somebody else's thoughts. Lina has gone crazy in the past year, but yeah, this is so exciting, and I like to think about that. Hey! Okay, at least that is something that inspired me to make this video, and you never know what you're going to get tomorrow and what's going to inspire me tomorrow, so I'll say goodbye on this note today, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.